Well, we told you. Well, we scrutinized.
Students, one question I would really like. Why is it that the teachers of our school have us here at this beautiful place to encourage us are the ones that when we are not present to defend ourselves, backbite us and don't wait?
Four students approached the teacher, asked them back what item that was confiscated from them. And it was taken as a threat. The police were brought into the school, the students were arrested. Two of the students were arrested and placed on contract for asking a teacher back for item that was confiscated from them. Not an aggressive one or anything, but it was confiscated, they were taken as criminals, and they were placed on contract, and now they have a criminal record.
On YouTube.
Let me at the beginning say I want to thank the students for being comfortable enough to come forward and ask those questions, because that's what this is about. We want to hear from you. So I want to thank you for that. Now, let us continue. Let us look at the answers. Every week when you have assembly, we sing a certain song. We hail our alma mater, the guardian of our youth, the molder of our character. Are we going to listen? I expect nobody to be walking around when I'm speaking except you coming up to give an answer. You're going to the washroom. Washroom. Now listen to me, students. The good book, the word says something to us. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from him. Let me say something to you. Some of what you may consider to have been in your labeling criminal may very well, and remember I have come here in January, but I'm talking with the experience of an educator for many, many, many years. And also I'm talking with the experience of someone who has been a part of the St. Vincent Grammar School many years before. I have been at this school many, many years. I know young men. I have worked with young men. It is why when I came in January, it was if I were just here for so long. Young men, let me tell you something. And today is an important day, and it's a good question because I want you to understand. Do not leave the grammar school believing that any of your teachers,
What's the question?
the administration and staff, were prosecuting you like criminals. What we were doing, molding. It is called molding. It is called, are we going to be listened to? Am I going to be listened to? It is called molding the character. Molding you so that you represent the grammar school prodigy and you represent 100 years of history. Let me tell you something, students. Do not underestimate that you are attending an institution that has been in existence for 100 years. That has meaning. Do not underestimate what you have come through, the training you have received over the past 5 years. I am urging you to look back on each event, not just critically, but objectively. See, who was that? That requires molding. That requires a shout, because that's poor manners. And so when we mold you, we are not trying to make you criminals. We are saying to you, that kind of behavior is inappropriate. We are training you up in the way you need to be, so that you will become the future leaders. You look around in all areas of our country. The people who are in charge and who have led have come through the St. Vincent Grammar School. In other words, I think Rafi wants to speak to us. Rafi, come up. You're going to be able to talk in a while. In other words, students, understand. Look how Rafi has to be molded. He's not in uniform. Don't approach here. Step back. That's molding. That's not shouting. Mr. Sam, ensure he gets dressed right now. Thank you. That is molding. And there, let me tell you, gentlemen, many of the teachers will attest. I have been through these schools. I always smile when I'm on the road. There are some police officers, as soon as they see my vehicle, they do not stop the line. Because what we placed in them when they were here, they now understand what we were doing. There are some students, I have gone into places and held their hands, brought them back to the grammar school. And when I'm coming through the airport, they say, Mrs. Bartpeters, come right up. Come on. And I get taken care of. Because had some teacher not held your hand, and had some teacher not changed the path you were taking, you would indeed have become a criminal. And I'm going to urge you today, because this is a serious business, you know. You don't understand it now, but you will in due course. Am I saying that in every case, some of the time, we cannot be a little more lenient? Yes. But teachers are also people. And sometimes we may not be as perfect as we should be. Give us some slack. Give us some chance. Because if we held you to the same high standards, we would not have had the kind of success that we can talk about. So I want to say to you today, I'm not trying to make excuses here, but I'm being realistic. And this is what I'm saying to you. Just as you may have had a hard time with one teacher or another, I am sure each of you could state that there was some teacher, one teacher in your school life who bent over backwards to help you. Give me a round of applause. Come on, guys. Be fair. And so, students, I want to thank you. And I want to say to you, remember what I said. It's a good question. It is not a question we're upset about. It is the kind of question we want. Why do we want it? Students, why do we want the question? We want the question so that when you leave here today, you could understand that some of what happened to you at the grammar school, it was not meant to hurt you, it was not meant to criminalize you. We were running after the potential we know exists in you, and sometimes it could only be brought out by tough love. Students, your teachers have loved you, and I'm sure that if some of the teachers want to come and make a comment, they can. Alright, students, so I hope my explanation helped you to understand a little bit more about what teaching involves.
Let us try. We just have